All right, fuck it. Okay. So the reason we put it into play is because we've had issues. We didn't... Before we went into that meeting, we both agreed that we didn't really want to justify anything because it would have just gone in more circles than it would have in the past. But we had issues. Obviously, Cassidy and I have our own issues. And we didn't feel
Seems like those are getting better now.
I mean, I'm just trying to be. I'm just not stirring it all with Cassidy. I mean,
he falls for it every time. I even get mad at him for falling into the fucking trap.
He's very passionate about his department, which obviously I respect him for. But at the same time, like when I called him and I was like, "You murdered." I said,
"You can bait him."
I literally
10 out of 10 times.
I literally called and said, "BCSO is murdering my officers. What the fuck is going on, Cassidy?" And that's when he fucking. I mean, he lost it.
Blew a gasket. I know.
Yeah, he blew a gasket, which I thought that was funny. And if I was in his position, I would have been like, "Yeah, I got a hit out on him. What are you gonna do, bitch?" But anyway,
yeah, that's not him. He's a clean by the book.
So anyway, there was that whole thing. We had an issue kind of with Helen coming in and cutting a 95 loose. Somebody ended up coming down. Someone was trying to turn themselves in for a warrant. They came to LSPD. It was over $100,000 warrant. He was picked up by BCSO and brought to BCSO. We basically just had like a shitload of issues. And we're like, all right, we just need to fucking cover our asses. And like, if this is essentially what's going to happen. And I don't think everybody in the BCSO operates. I should say, I think there's people that are in the BCSO that operate with their, it's not the best intentions of the police department. It's just the best intentions to them. Helen being one, well, like with the Bobby issue, Ventura kind of is, as much as fucking Ventura loves to drink the tea, he also likes to fucking spill the tea and then play the victim. Another incident is I was shot in the head by a member of the Saints, which apparently Ventura's like married to one of their gang members, and it was like they never, like, the Saints ended up calling him and they never even reached out to me. They just basically ran to the marshals to try to get me impeached, even though I did it off duty. And it was like to prevent a fucking hell week from the South Side. It's just like there's people in the department that I think are self-serving, and we want to make sure that we could fucking nip that shit at the bud. Like, that's why we did it. And I don't think we've had a single incident where, and I know before you said me and Vic Hanna were going to be the issues. I mean, we were in a, Cassidy could tell you, we were in a crazy shootout the other night, and I didn't ask for any 95s to be processed at MRPD. In fact, I was like, look, I'm going to try to raid these fuckers. Could we get them to LSPD and then you can transport them up to BCSO to process them? I mean, we just ended up doing it, whatever. But the reality is, as much as everyone kind of goes and says like, well, they could punish us, they could do this. It's like, first of all, yeah, we could, but then ultimately you could just drive up to Blaine County and remove your fucking DAPs or anything you want. I think people have made like this huge deal out of something that obviously is, it is kind of a deal, but I do not think it is a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, and again, moving forward, it's like Vic Hanna is dead now. Captain Vic Hanna is dead now. It's just me, and I've never pulled anyone off. And now it's gotten to the point where Den wants to do this because he can't even do his TRT operations because he feels like everybody's doing this to spite us, which 100% they are. I mean, it's kind of just like, you know what I mean?
I think it's like we're trying to leverage it, which is, you can see it however you want to see it, is we're trying to use like our backup as leverage to try and get exactly where we're at now and try and get somewhere where we can meet in the middle and get something that we both agree on. So I do agree that something having your back in writing is fine. I just don't think that it should be like senior plus. I think it could be a little bit more than that.
I mean, what like the thing is we did senior. So one of the reasons we did senior plus is it's like for the for the for the history of Los Santos, what can a senior do that an officer cannot, other than drive a vehicle?
I mean, senior. Yeah, I mean,
You know, it's just like
it's always been that way, but it's also like senior somebody that you typically would like. They don't want rank, they don't want anything, but they want to be like they have the respect of if they wanted to, they would be there. Is like how I see it. Or they're in like their like growing stage of getting to the sergeant level. It's kind of like the middle ground.
Yeah, but I mean, so part of the reason we have senior there is like we want to give seniors responsibility, and I can't now at this point I can't think of a single senior that would ultimately pull rank on someone or even do it.
But it's also just the experience level, right?
Right. I think that a lot of this stuff too, which I understand you guys are doing, like you guys are kind of like operating off of hypotheticals as well. But nothing has even come up. And Den, honestly, would be the last person I thought would do this. But for whatever reason, he wants to push it now. I'm going to have his back. But, you know, it's kind of like, I don't know. I guess the reality is for us is I don't think we're changing the way it's written. Like I could give you my word that, you know, as long as we're all operating in good faith and there's no issues, like I'm not just going to say, hey, this is our scene. Fuck you, Blaine County. I know there's, you know, like you said, 13 to 14. It sounds like it's pretty split in your department. How many officers are in your department, by the way?
I don't know the total. I would have to look at roster.
I mean, it's more than 40, right? So some people aren't even voting on it.
Yeah, there's some people that haven't voted. I think it's like 17 to 13 right now.
Yeah, which is...
it was very close, and then the
30,
shit happened. And then it got like 3 or 4 votes swung. So you don't want to change it at all?
I mean, Moss is... Listen, I'm going to back the play on my chief, right? As I know Cassidy would with you. I think that we do want to work, but I don't think that... Especially with Moss not around, like there's no way I'm not gonna fucking change that and then have her come back and be
changed. Okay.
Yeah, and then
something you could reach out to her about.
She's not gonna change it. I mean, I like I said, the reality is
locked on it.
Yeah, we're both kind of locked on it. Again, it's like with kind of like with those examples. There's been a few other examples that I can't think of off the top of my head. And I know you guys have said you've dealt with these issues. But it's just kind of like recurring issues, and a lot of it is to save our own asses inside
I know y'all's reasoning. I understand the reasoning. I get it. I do. I just wish that we have our reasoning for the other things, and we just can't. It's hard to do anything if you guys aren't willing to budge at all. Like at all. I thought, you know, I'm trying to like open a conversation about like what can we do, or what can we add, or what can we change a little bit with it. But if that's not even a conversation that you guys are willing to open up, it's tough.
Is there no way you guys could? I mean, since we put it into play, we've been met with immediate resistance. I mean, there's no way you guys just want to play ball for a few days to see how it goes out, and then because again, right now, like I said about the hypotheticals, it seems like everybody's mad about situations that haven't happened, but hypothetically could happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you know, it's like no one's even given it a chance. They've just pretty much shut it down from the get-go.
Things are happening. They are. I mean, look what I like you said. Den's just doing it out of like frustration, but it's still there, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
it's still there, which is it is happening. You can't say it's not, because it is.
It is happening, but it's because Den's been fucked with the TRT operations. Like you can't even.
This is why we were scared of it, and this is why we see like issues within it in the first place, because it is a big what if, but when the what ifs are coming true, then kind of proves a little bit of a point.
Well, the what ifs are coming true because nobody had an opportunity to even see how it would work out. It's like the what ifs
we're just trying to meet in the middle a little bit, like change, just certain things out of that we don't like or we disagree on.